Campbells, Coets, Equestrian. Catching up today with Andrew Soper from Baristock. Firstly, welcome, Andrew.
Thanks, Paul. Good to be with you today.
We're doing something a little bit different, and we have Tony Norris as well from Equestrian Equal. Thank you for joining us, Tony.
Pleasure.
Equestrian Equal is a new group. Do we call you a group or an organisation? Which way do we go about it?
I'd probably suggest organisation.
Yep. Getting together to, I suppose, raise awareness and I suppose maybe even professionalise a little bit more of some of the equestrian disciplines going around at the minute. Would that be fair?
Oh, look, I mean, we've got two focuses. So one is that Equal started this year by a group of 7 volunteers, and we've all worked together for probably some of us up to 20 years. So between us, we have a lot of experience in running events and organising events, and particularly in the show world. So what we thought there was an opportunity for us to have a look at 2 different things. One is the education side of things within equestrian sports, and then the second one was to hold events. So our initial focus at the moment is on a series of masterclasses that we're hosting. So the idea is to start working with the professionals in the various sports, and at the moment it's within the show horses and the show horse world, and try and tap into their knowledge, and then pass that knowledge or give the opportunity for that knowledge to be conveyed to other people. And so we've created a series of masterclasses. We've announced 3 to date. We've created a series of masterclasses that enables anybody who's interested to come in and learn from people who are the best in their particular discipline.
That would be where Baristock come in, Andrew. You guys are always very keen to get into where trying to grow disciplines, and it doesn't have to be the number one discipline going around like thoroughbreds or any of those things. Baristock always very keen to get behind these sort of ideas.
Oh, and I think, education's a big part of everything, Paul, and with what the guys are putting together, Tony and his team, to bring that education, like you said before, the leaders in it. We're involved in the first one over here on June the 20th at Belinda. We've got the guys from Romsey Park, and we've got the Wagners coming over. Caroline's won the Barrow 4 times, I think, and Greg certainly holds his own in the show ring with the different horses that he competes on. So, and I know the master classes following that. I don't know, Dale Plum's involved in the next one. I'm not sure who all the others are at this stage, but they're certainly pulling together some industry heavyweights to open up to the people to go and learn about the finer details of how to get to the top of your desired sport or event. So it's a fantastic opportunity for people to come and learn from those people and ask the hard questions and see how it's done. They're going to put on some live displays and really talk about the finer points of what's the difference between coming first and sixth, I suppose. So it'll be fantastic.
I have a 14-year-old daughter, and it's one of the reasons I started up these pages is because you see so many things that they do, and it goes unnoticed, if you like. A lot of the lesser things go unnoticed. The biggest eye-opener I had, Tony, when Andrew got me on board and we go to Greg Mickens' place, and I've been to a lot of nice places and all the rest, but it's what goes on behind the scenes that you don't realise and you don't see, and these people, what drives them and the professionalism that they have. That we can go with Greg just for the minute. That I went to his place, found him terrific person to interview, knew his stuff and the rest. So you sort of get to know him. Then you go to the Baristock Horse Trials, Horse of the Year show, and you see where all that work goes. Like he has a big team of horses and the likes that. A lot of people probably aren't as lucky as I am to be able to see that, and I would imagine that's a little bit of what you guys are trying to do is raise that awareness for people that what Greg does behind the scenes, and not just Greg, everyone else that you come across in these fields of events.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our approach in working with professionals is twofold. One is that often within our sport, professionals are criticised because they win a lot. But what goes behind that winning is sometimes misunderstood. And the pure effort and dedication and commitment that drives these particular teams is amazing. And I think what we're trying to do is create an opportunity for people to understand what a professional team, how it operates, all the working mechanisms of a professional team, but at the same time work with those professionals to pass on some of their knowledge to competitors. Because, you know, turning up and winning at a Royal Show is not about just throwing a horse on a truck and taking it to a Royal Show. There are hours and weeks and years of dedication to get to that level. I mean, merely platting a horse to the standard of a Royal Show or to the standard of a Gary Owen is a very unique process. And it's a skill that, you know, what we're trying to do is tap into that skill so people can understand at the lower levels to say, you know what, one day I can achieve this because I'm learning from experts and I know the process that they follow, or understand some of it, that they follow to get to compete at that level. And that's kind of what we're really tapping into. And what's been interesting is that everyone that we've approached in our Masterclass series, and including some that are still in the pipeline, is that everybody's so willing to jump on board and share that knowledge. And I think that's really a positive message for our sport, and obviously a positive message for our organisation, because these people are very willing to work with us and deliver these opportunities.
I am putting my hand up right now. I'm not going to go to the masterclass on how to plat up for Gary Rowan or Royal Melbourne Show. Holly, if you're watching this, it ain't happening. No.
I'd like to see some platted trotters going around.
There is a reason, Tony. There is a reason why I wear a hat as often as what I do. There's I'm as follically tested as what you are, my friend, and I'm happy just to keep it that way. We might start masterclass. What is a masterclass, Tony? Like, this is, I suppose, the one thing that you're saying now, and people might be wondering what actually is a masterclass and how they get involved with the masterclass.
Right, so what we've done, we've called them Masterclasses, Secrets to Success. And what we've done is spoken to people who have been extremely successful in their chosen discipline, and we've then broke it down even further. So for the show horse world, we're looking at the first one is a real focus on Gary Owen and turnout winners. So these are from kids who are little and riding Shetland ponies right through to the Gary Owen, a highly prestigious event for equestrians. The idea is that someone can come along and then really understand what it takes to win those particular classes. So it's not about them riding, and it's not about them, actively participating on their horses. It's about, here's a pure demonstration. It's very interactive. You can ask 1,000 questions and you can understand why, certain gloves are worn in the Gary Owen, why a jacket is a certain length, why your breeches need to be a certain length, why there's so many buttons on the side of your jodhpurs. Like, there's a whole series of really intimate questions around what it takes to win. And I mean, the first one, which is with Romsey Park and Carolyn and Peter Wagner, and with Baristock, is very much focused on winning at elite level. So what we've done is we've gathered these people who are, winning at elite level to share some of their secrets.
I think the one thing, Andrew, you guys have shown me when going to, like, Greg Mickens, Amanda Ross's, Spring Creek, some of these other places that we've been to, that there is this, I suppose, persona that they win everything, these people, and they're very successful people. But when you get there and you actually start talking to these guys, they're real people for a start, but it is what they do behind the scenes that is what makes them that little bit different, isn't it?
Look, and it's interesting, look, I'm fortunate I live just up the road from Greg and Terry there at Romsey Park, and, just before the Sydney shows, Greg was running up the main road. He'd run like 10 kilometres each way to make sure that he fitted into his riding jackets when he got to the show. I mean, who does that? That's just insane dedication to looking the part, There's the organisation at his house, and you've been there, all the bridles on the doors with the horses' names, and the attention to detail is absolutely insane at a home. And then when they're at a show, and you walk past their stables at a show, there's a whole list there on the doors of what horse needs to be where, and what horse needs to be saddled when, and what needs to be done to get that horse ready, and who's getting it organised. Like, it's just military precision, but the dedication, I saw Greg running home, and I pulled over and said, "Mate, do you want a lift? Like, you're nearly there." And he's like, "I'm nearly home. I'm all good." You're nuts. But it's that dedication from those people, they don't work 8-hour days. they work 16-hour days. And when you see those people go to those events and achieve the success, you know, we're fortunate that, you know, we go to the feed room and we help with the feed side, and, you know, that's a small part of what they do. But to see those people go out and achieve success, you know, we get quite a kick out of it because we see the hard work that actually goes into achieving that. And, you know, we've seen the horses when they turn up and they're green, and, you know, there's the months and months and months. We recently went to a little show at Glen Lyon. And I mean, Glen Lyon's just a little place in the middle of nowhere.
Beautiful little place.
It was a beautiful little place, beautiful grounds. But you get there and there's Greg and Terry there, and Dale Plum's there, and Mark Hensing's there. And they've brought some beautiful horses to get qualified. And you watch them go around, you're just in awe. It's just beautiful to watch. But seeing the hard work that goes into getting to that point, and being able to share that with, you know, the people that are trying to achieve those sort of things, I think it's really special, and it's a fantastic opportunity for people to come along and learn those finer details about the Gary Allen and how many buttons need to be on your jobbers and your jackets and the length, and, you know, that you see it and you see it on the news, you see it in the media, and you go, wow, that's terrific. But to fully understand the gear and the tack and the money that's involved in it, yeah, that'll be fantastic. Great opportunity.
Tony, just so you're aware, the reason Greg has to run up and down the road 10Ks both ways is because when the Baristock feed rep comes, he brings donuts all the time. He actually left 5 minutes before me, and for the next 5 minutes, Greg and Terry were trying to get me to take donuts home with me. They said he's going to kill us. So that's the reason. That's the reason poor Greg has to run up and down. It's got nothing to do with fitting in his jacket or nothing. It's the donuts that one bloke underneath you brings, which actually doesn't work because you're alongside. I forgot it's on that camera, not this camera, but that's okay. I imagine you've got other plans for Equestrian Equal, though, going forward. Well, actually, before we get off that, how do people get involved with the masterclass? What's the easiest way for people, if they are interested in going to the one at Belinda, or finding out where they're going to be? What's the best way for them to get involved?
Yep. So we've got 3 masterclasses booked at the moment. So we have the one at Belinda on the 18th of June. We have, that's on the 20th of June. We have one on the 18th of July, and we have one on the 1st of August. So if they go to our website, which is www.equeal.com.au, if you click on the activities and events page, it has details of every single masterclass there. Then there's a little more information button, and that will fully detail everything that will take place at that masterclass. And the good thing is that at the end of it, we're going to issue them with a certificate in recognition of their achievement as a master. So a little bit, something a little bit tangible to say that you've attended a masterclass, and at least you can talk quite confidently about what you saw.
Are we going to just do on horses? Oh, sorry, on shows? Are we going to go show jumping, equestrian? How far afield are we going to potentially head?
The first one is showing. The second one is showing a little bit different. So it involves Dale Plum and Stewie Robinson. So Stewie Robinson does a lot of work in relation to young stock and leading young stock in hand. Dale, obviously, very well known for a fantastic eye for a good horse. He's going to talk about the transformation of a horse from basically his famous back paddock through to a potential Royal Show champion. So just talk about the transition and the processes involved. So it's not really show orientated, although they happen to be show people, but they talk about how to get the best out of your horse and how to present it at an elite level. The third one is a great one for people with young kids. So it's the lead rein in the first ridden classes. So it's, again, Luke Dawes and Emma Richardson, all about little ponies for kids that can compete, the rules and regulations, because there's always plenty of those, and how to participate. And then the good thing is we are branching outside of the show world. We've got David Simons, who's a reigning champion, who's going to give us a talk about reining and a demonstration. So we are diversifying. We are doing some more work in the background with other organisations to bring on things a little bit different. We're working on one in New South Wales as well at the moment. So there's a bit going on.
So these 3 are obviously in Victoria. These are the first 3 planned in Victoria, but it will be Australia-wide. Is that the main goal?
Yeah, we want to evolve naturally. We don't want to rush out and try and rule the world in 30 seconds. We just want to take our time, just see what the feedback is. We would prefer to do something very well than do it half-baked. So that's very much of our approach. We're very controlling of what we're going to do, how it's going to be run, what is going to be available, who's going to present. It's all very much about trying to keep costs to a minimum, but also controlling the quality as well.
That'd be key to Baristock as well, Andrew, because we all see it. A lot of people come in with the big bang, shebang. This is going to be huge, and go out the door as quick as they come in the door.
Oh, I think, yeah. Look, it's really easy to come in with a big bang, but it's sustainability, and I think the education part that Tony and his crew are heading down that road of is certainly a big part going forward. There needs to be a lot more education. We've got some great horse people, can't say horsemen anymore. Some really fantastic horse people willing to share that knowledge. And I know as a kid growing up, I've done plenty of equestrian stuff growing up, and the horseman would come up and help you at an event or give you some advice at an event, but people have got too busy for that now. So to be able to dial into these people at a designated event, have a chat, ask the hard questions and get the right answers, I think that's terrific. And we've seen plenty of events come and go. Baristock Horse of the Year's been running for more than 50 years now, so I think that's a pretty good indicator that there's a lot of people doing the right thing there. So we certainly wish Tony and his team all the very best going forward, and we really look forward to seeing everybody having a great time and learning lots from these people.
Will you be doing competitions, Tony? Is that going to be the end goal, or is it just going to be masterclasses predominantly, or it's going to be something that evolves slowly and you get to predominantly having your own sort of shows and events?
So we're actually working on an event right now. So we're hoping to host an event this year.
Do I get a scoop?
Well, no, you can't have a scoop. You can have a scoop to say that we are planning to run an event. So, I mean, it's in the early stages. We have certainly a view on how we're going to run it. One of the things which makes us very different to everything else is that we intend to, at our events, have dual streams. So we will have streams of classes, which will so two different streams exactly mirror each other. One is for non-professionals and one is for professionals. And so the idea is that one of the common complaints that we hear is that, I can't go to these events because professionals constantly win. And so they stop going. And so our idea is that we want to increase participation, is to offer them an opportunity that they can compete against like people without the need to go in and compete against professionals. And so that's one thing that we are working on very hard at the moment to try and get that right. Obviously, with that comes rules and regulations and control. So we're kind of working on that now, but that's certainly our intent, is to offer the opportunity. You can either compete in open professional classes, or if you fit the rules, then you can compete in the non-professional classes.
I would imagine the biggest catch there will be getting the more professional people to own up to say that they are the professionals. I think would be one of the biggest battles. I'm sure everyone will say, no, I'm definitely an amateur and the likes, but you want them like for like. I actually like that, and I think if I'm right, you'll have them at the same events, which then means that the non-professionals can still watch the professionals, see how they go about it, sit and watch a ring where professionals are going round and round, and be able to appreciate what they do and aspire to get to that level.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people who are non-professionals are start to become disheartened because they just can't compete at that level. And the idea is to absolutely create them exposure. That this is, if you want to compete with the professionals, that's fine, but this is the standard that they compete at, and the ability then is to learn from them and aspire, if they wish to compete at that standard and that level.
It's going to raise a lot of awareness. Myself and Andrew, we go around. Andrew's got a young family too, and we like our kids to stay in the horse game, if you like. And I think that's possibly something else that with these masterclasses could do, is actually show people there is a way you can stay in the horse game. You don't have to be picking boxes up at a thoroughbred stable or driving a horse truck or doing something along those lines. There are plenty of other fields. Not that any of those fields are bad, but if it's not what you want to do, there are plenty of other ways you can stay in the horse game, which is another thing that Campbell's comments is trying to do, is keep young people in the horse game, because I think horses are just sensational myself.
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting comment that you make, because I was talking to somebody just a week ago, and that was exactly what they spoke about, is that there's great opportunity within the horse world, but people don't quite know where to go and how to go about it. And you don't have to go and work for one of the big thoroughbred studs to. But, you know, if you do, how do you get there, and how do you even qualify or get the experience to work in those particular studs? So that was something that was raised with me, and certainly something that's worth looking at, I think.
Andrew, we were speaking just yesterday actually about a gentleman that you sort of suggested he should go down a job path. He was a horse trainer and he took a different path, and he loves it now, doesn't he? Like, there is, just because you're not necessarily doing 100% what you chose to do, if you're still in that horse game, you can actually really enjoy it.
Oh, and I think, you know, we can look at our own circumstances, Paul. You know, I was a professional Western horse trainer for a number of years, and, you know, certainly had my share of success doing that. Had shown English horses before that, not professionally, as an amateur, you know, and certainly did very well with that too. But, you know, the quarter horse industry is pretty tough to make a living. And, you know, I spent a number of years working for IRT as a flying groom, and now I'm part of a big team selling horse feed into these, you know, bigger studs and outfits, and thoroughly enjoy that. So, you know, the horse industry has been, you know, very good to me, and I've certainly taken some different directions, but still heavily involved and thoroughly enjoy it. So, yeah, it's helping those kids along the way, and, you know, we see plenty of them out there. You know, I've done talks at schools and stuff here recently to kids in year 12, you know, what direction, and they ask plenty of questions about, you know, what opportunities there are in the horse industry to pursue. So it's certainly something that we can push along.
I think it'd be interesting the answer you guys both give me on this one, that I think everyone gets into the horse game and loves it and wants to stay in it. You float away for that little period of time, but then you come back to it, like the three of us. I would imagine, Tony, without knowing your whole background, I would imagine you've done, the way you smirked then when I said it, you've done something similar. We've got to try and stop that little float away area where, you know, you try different things and the like, which is part of life for a lot of these young kids. But it's to try and not have them float away for 10 years, 15 years, maybe float away for a year and then come back and stay in the horse game and have so many more great opportunities.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I think that's what happens. That's life. It does take you on those journeys, and you do step away from it. You know, I've stepped away multiple times from it, but I think for everybody that's involved in the equestrian world, there's just a unique pull to it. And I just think that, you know, it's very hard to actually get away from.
One thing I like, Andrew, that he's been saying, equestrian world, I'm going to use that word a lot more, Tony, you're going to lose, because it's not showing, it's not eventing, it's not racing, it's not cutting, there's not a one discipline by the sounds of things. It's going to be all encompassing the horse field.
That's the intent, hopefully. But I mean, our knowledge is probably the show horse world. But, you know, most of us competed in other disciplines, and we're not shy from learning about something new. So, you know, getting reining involved so early and so quickly, you know, to us was a coup, because it's fantastic. We don't have that knowledge, reining or exposure, but just to get somebody involved and just talk about natural horsemanship, etc. So, you know, it's a really interesting step for us.
It's a brilliant world, the horse world, I must say. I really love it, and I'm very fortunate with what I do right now. Andrew Soper, thank you very much for joining us. Tony, thank you. Good luck. Website, just before we go, you can rattle that one off again so people get to it. They can log off now and they can go and check out the website.
Yeah, it's EQ, EAL, so equal,
yep.
.com.au.
.com.au, equal. Easy enough for everyone to remember. Tony, good luck. Andrew, thank you very much, mate.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Tony. Good to have a chat.